What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Market Review. Haven't you seen social media? All the collectors are leaving Yu-Gi-Oh! The quarter century secret rares are ruining everything. The whales are all gonna be gone yet. What's happening with Bonanza versus all your rants? Here we are, another weekend in, and 7 listings, 6 listings, 8 listings, 8 listings, 7 listings, 7 listings on top of the set, with cards like BLS that I thought were underperforming starting to correct themselves and go way up. Blue Eyes, I don't know why I bet against it early, other than I thought the SDK art was so much more defining and easier to get thanks to the 10s. The Dark Magician Girls I did think would be up here, and here they are trying to stay atop the set. Whenever DMG and Blue Eyes are atop a set, it feels like DMG comes out on top early and then Blue Eyes passes later. But when it comes down to it, other Blue Eyes collectibles are in here, like Ultimate Dragon. So it's very clear big money's being spent. But I have a couple of theories with this set. One, that there's no wall. What do I mean by that? My Discord often calls it the Gamer's Choice Wall or Core TCG Wall. Sometimes there is another seller or two that will put up 100 to 200 quantities of even high-end cards in the set. And once they sell out, the prices start to rise. But they maintain those low prices. They get that attention. They get that nice feedback and loop. And they're in the ecosystem. You can't do that with Bonanza. The pull rates are so hard to get on the quarter century secret rare nostalgia pool because it's really platinum Bonanza where you can get tons of those platinums for way cheaper. But with the quarter century secret rares in specific, if you are hunting those down, the buy the singles mantra, it still rings true because they're so hard to pull, but they're going up because they're so hard to pull, and a lot of people don't want to play that waiting game versus Black Friday. They know a lot of things are going to sell fast throughout there, and they're getting ahead of that curve. So without the wall, and with people going in early, so many things are rising that I wouldn't have necessarily called. Like Stratos I thought would be a solid 30. It's mid-max. You have the Ultimate Rare, you have the Starlight Rare, but people here are settling and spending upwards, and now there's only 2 listings on the front page? That's wild to me. Maliss players going after Allure. Also, Upstart Goblin, I said never bet against draw cards, and here it is performing better than my early call as well. I thought it would be at 30. Here it's doing even better than that. Heavy Storm going buck wild. Thunder King towards the top of the page, which I did say I thought it would be pretty good. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and Toad were both in my interesting pile. Here they are on the top page. Genzo's one that I want, and here it starts to go slowly upwards. Now, I think it did a really cool balancing act. I've heard otherwise in my comment section from people saying the nostalgia pool was so bad for the set because you can't get the meta cards as easy in the box. Well, again, buying the singles often works really well. Look at best-selling yet still highly populated SP Little Knight, Triple Tactics Thrust. I keep saying talents. I know. I'm trying to get the right wording. Sometimes I mix them up in my head too because I always tend to search talents with Thrust. But points aside, then we get into these quarter century secret rares at top. I think it's a great balancing act. You only sacrifice 20% of the pulls. You still have over one of each card per box able to happen, but clumping in modern products a huge thing. But look at the prices. They speak for themselves on mass pulls that you can get a playset of Thrust under 30. That's like when Mavens dropped, right? And then you have Little Knight here. The 10s clearly did die to this, but I think it is an awesome mix of being able to get these cards obtainable and also have something that feels special and that is harder to dig for. And the more I see this set, the more I appreciate it, and I think you will see a lot of this sealed actually sell during Black Friday, perhaps. But again, I don't know the future of card prices where they'll go. That's why I'm not a financial advisor, and I can be wrong about some cards, while I can be right about others, and even right for the wrong reasons. But all the collectors and whales leaving, come on, dude. Like this, Ray, we talked about it a bit ago. Here it goes even further beyond. The lowest is $295. It has a sale at $255. It's very clear some deep pockets are still laying around Yu-Gi-Oh! And that collectors are very interested in quarter century secret rare slash vendors and maybe even cardboard investors as well. Now, I have seen in my Discord this going around, the invest and prepare for Ryzeal. Makes sense, you know, rank 4 is gonna be good. You're gonna want to be also playing against it and for it. So it's interesting to see a lot of this mixed in with the Maliss buyouts as well coming up. So we're gonna cover a lot of those, such as Dot, Scraper, Starfoil. I can't understand this one. We have a holographic. Most Starfoil buyouts are when we don't have a holographic, but I guess maybe people don't like how the Ghost from the Past looks the most, and I can admit that Starfoil kind of hits the aesthetic of this card, and there can be warping out of Ghost, but come on, really, for $7, $8, $9 that people are spending very consistently versus this under 50-cent holographic version? Come on, this is not a balance in the market that should be there, but you know, sometimes it be like that. Small World is another interesting one people are talking about, and the quarter century secret rare has gone bananas. This has proven itself in metagames to be underestimated and come out on top, and it's one of the most dedicated cards in the game where people try to figure out lines with how complicated it can be. It's very nice though, again, that balancing act I talked about, that we have all of these from the original Rarity collection, nice versions, all under $1. And then the quarter century secret rare is what goes absolutely crazy. So if you want access and you don't want a planned version, it's there. But here is this awesome version that is going way up in price if you believed in the card and went with the highest rarity. Splash Mage, we've talked about a few times, was on that list as well. So do be aware that this is still going even crazier as we approach the set actually coming to the TCG. Rafflesia's one that is an option for them. I did miss that the ultimate rare respiked because I did catch like initial buyouts, but it's actually continued to like trend upwards overall even at 20. I know Lancia is up, Gold Sark over here is up, and I did want to specifically go over the Gold Ultra Rare Pharaoh Rare because it does interest me. While the quarter century secret rare is also in double down buyouts, this has been selling on the American market at a higher rate than I would have thought. 250, 200, etc. So I went over to Card Market, and it does appear in English only once at a good price, 70 euros, and then it goes all the way for English up to 150 euros. Most of the sales have been down here, but we can often see that with the American market, Europe can lag behind and then end up catching up and going in on these cards. So it does seem like it's had pretty consistent sales. It's had some upward motion, but be aware that this version does feel like it's cheaper over there because that's where you can pull it, right? But I also feel like, and I've talked about this, aesthetically, some cards look better in Secret Pharaoh and some look better in Ultra. The gold name with the gold Sark just looks way better in my opinion. And it may be worth your time to look at forwarding services and custom fees and getting those sent to you, like that 70 euro one, and waiting on the time rather than just hitting the buy button at $200 US. Dimensional Barrier has continued to go up as well. We've covered this several times, but check this out. It's now towards $40+ for that quarter century secret rare. I did say that I felt like Deception of Sinful Spoils was underestimated, that it had more support coming. I didn't get how it continued to go down, but I guess I was just wrong. Sometimes I'm just right ahead of time. Here it goes towards $60, 56, lining up on the front page here. So it has rebounded in a very fast and big fashion, and you can see that from the graph. Also, I'm not completely sure why this one's going like this, so let me know if you know. Rudy Rose Dragon has a bit of a buyout mode going on at lower quantities and upped prices over time here, as you can see. Not the biggest swing in the graph, like $1 some odd change, but it's around $4 for the OG secret rare, and you can still get the 10 secret for about $1 if you want a nice looking budget version of that. Let me know if you know why this saw that movement and what it's actually going to be comboing with. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. I try to keep it timely, even when I want to go further in Bonanza. I know a lot of you all are actually tired of it. It does get less views to talk about, but this set, as a boomer, super interests me, and I was right that there's going to be a lot of money to be made here because it's already spinning that way instead of just downward early like Rarity Collection 2.